Hello and welcome everybody. Welcome back to this video where I show you how to continue tessellating the pattern. And as you can see, we've got now half of the whole pattern on our tracing paper, and the other half is actually drawn onto this drawing paper. And in this video we will continue to tessellate our pattern. For those of you who are new here, welcome. My name is Mohammed and I'm an engineer and artist from Egypt. I specialize in geometric art, and I teach and share all these tutorials and resources for free, aiming for people to learn, create, relax and enjoy with this art form. And if you're wondering how we've arrived at this step, then please watch the previous videos. You'll find a link to the playlist on the video, so feel free to watch the previous steps. Okay, so again, I think that I'll just verify. My first step here is to verify which side have got which side of the tracing paper has got the pencil marks, and it is this side. So I turn my paper around, I place it this way, and I make sure that my pattern actually lines up at the points of, the points where the two halves basically meet. And I'm quite happy with this, so it's not massively out, but there's always going to be very little errors. And the more you do this and the more you practice, the better you get and the less errors you end up with. So with the tape, I fix my tracing paper to the drawing board and the drawing paper underneath, and I think this is enough. Maybe I'd need another piece of tape to fix the bottom of the sheet, and here is the tape I use. Any tape would do as long as it's low tack and doesn't actually stick. You could always take away from the tackiness of the tape by placing it on, part of your clothes, but I would recommend to get a low tack masking tape to begin with. This will save you a lot of time and effort and avoid tearing the paper. So, and I'll leave the links to the material in the description. The materials that I use and recommend. Okay, so let's start again. Our same system, the system that we've agreed, which is there are 4 different sets of lines here. There are the horizontal lines, the vertical lines, the lines at 45 degrees this way, and the lines at 45 degrees that way. So this time I'll start with the vertical lines, and here I'll just trace over these lines. So what I'll do is trace over these lines 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And this is probably the step that takes the longest time. But I have no problem with that. It's an exercise that I find relaxing and calming, and I don't mind it really. It does disconnect me from everything outside. And again, this tracing paper will be helpful in creating many paintings for me, and I'll show you how in my next videos. Okay. As always, if you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments section below. My aim is to help you create geometric art that, promotes a sense of mindfulness, helps you relax, and helps you also create, I want to help you create beautiful geometric art. And again, if you find value in this video or in my videos in general, please support me by giving the video a thumbs up, and support my channel by subscribing and hitting the notification bell to be informed of the future videos. And you know, I plan to actually go live as well with a couple of demonstrations, maybe organize like an online virtual painting session where we paint along each other and yeah, and draw different patterns. So yeah, watch this space. Okay, and I continue with now transferring the right hand side part of the pattern. You can see that this part was actually tracing the drawing underneath onto this tracing paper, and this part is actually transferring the element that I've already traced onto the drawing paper. So it is a bit time consuming, I know, but this way you get a tracing paper that's got the whole of the pattern according to the size that you figured out to begin with, and you've also got a base pattern on your paper. So you could always come back with, you know, another piece of tracing paper, place it on there, fix it with the tape, and trace a fresh, you know, drawing or tracing of this pattern to be used on different, you know, paintings. So again, I usually keep a folder of these designs, and I try to keep them separate so that they don't smudge each other. So let's continue with this. I have to be very careful and make sure that my ruler or square set or straight edge doesn't slip. So I've done the vertical lines. Let's go over the horizontal lines now. And here I am. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's okay if you find very little, you know, small gaps or little, let's say, misalignments. That's totally fine. On the painting at the end, before we actually paint, but once we transfer this design to the painting paper or to the canvas, we can always fix that before painting, and I'll show you how to do that. So don't fixate on trying to get like a super accurate you know, traced drawing, and trust me, you know, don't panic when you get something wrong. You could always go back and repeat it and fix it. I mean, we're drawing with pencil anyway, so almost everything is fixable. You could always repeat it, and the more you practice this, the better you get, just like anything else, really. So we continue drawing our horizontal lines. Okay, I feel that this one, but that's okay. As I said, you know, we can always fix that at the end on the painting itself. Okay, as we continue. Okay, now that's half of the horizontal lines done. On to the second half. It's good to have some music, or, you know, listen to audiobooks or whatever you want to listen to really while, you know, doing these drawing exercises. And this pattern is really beginner friendly. It's one of the most basic patterns out there. It's probably the most basic pattern. It's just a tessellation of the 8-pointed star, which itself is very common in quite many patterns, but many geometric patterns. But again, this is a very simple rendering, or form of Islamic geometry. I've chosen this pattern because it's beginner friendly, so trust me, when you go through the exercise and follow along these videos, there's a lot that you will understand about these patterns and how they work and how they tessellate and how they form different shapes when lined up against and within each and with each other. So here we go, our last set of horizontal lines. Now onto the diagonal lines, and these diagonal lines are actually at 45 degrees. So here you go, that's the first set. And the second set of diagonal lines. Something I do is hold my breath while drawing. I think it helps with stabilizing my hand. I've got shaky hands, unfortunately, so okay. On to the next. Okay. Okay, so I continue drawing my diagonal lines. If you feel your drawing is getting a little bit dirty, that's okay. It's normal to smudge the paper with the B pencil usually, so that's very normal. That's okay. Again, at the end of the day, this is all erasable. You could always erase, these kind of smudges from the paper. I prefer to paint in acrylic paint, so again, it's very easy for me using acrylic paint to conceal these smudges. At the end of the day, as we said, everything is fixable, and that's the beauty of it. It's just the build-up of, little steps and techniques. Okay, now on to the 45 diagonals at this side. Again, we press over these to trace or transfer what we've drawn onto the paper underneath. This is the half with, or these lines are in the half which has the pencil marks underneath the tracing paper, or on the side underneath, so that's okay. And we carry on with this. Okay. I can always, here's a tip for you, if I'm failing to actually adjust my, straight edge properly. I always place the pencil on the point that I want and pivot my, ruler or straight edge against it. So after I fix that, just go over it now, like that. So here's another tip for you. And go over my so probably messed up here, but that's okay. Let me just fix that. And you can see that this keeps catching out my, this piece of tape just keep catching out my set square. So what I'll do is I'll peel it off and cut a fresh piece and put it there. Just place it there so, I don't get, that kind of problem again. And yeah, so I don't have that problem anymore. Okay, so I think I've done this part. Yeah, so let's do this set of lines. It's very important that these lines at the intersections are drawn continuously. So I don't just draw here and stop over here and then draw another line. No, I do it all at once continuously, so it's one line. This, maintains the continuity in your pattern and shows that result that these, at the end you get the result that these are interlocking pieces and, parts that fit together nicely and seamlessly. That's contributing to the seamless effect of the pattern. Okay, and here we go, another one. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, and another one here. I'm really excited to show you the next steps, which are transferring to our, final painting sheet or paper or canvas, whatever surface you choose really. And we'll be covering different surfaces in my videos. So if there is a surface in particular or an idea that you've got in mind that you want me to, explore and show you how we can apply this artwork to, just let me know in the comment section. I'll be more than happy to make a video about it. Okay, so again, I've just peeled 2 pieces of the tape and here we go. So now we're finished with the pattern on the tracing paper. I can see that, I can, from what I've seen so far. So this is the actual side that's got, the pencil marks. And that means that, this is the part I'll be placing onto, the painting paper, and I'll do that in my next video. As always, if you found value in this video, please give it the thumbs up, subscribe to be notified, and hit the notification bell to be notified of my future videos. If you have any questions, please feel free to, comment or add them to the comment section below. And as always, please check the description notes for useful resources and check the other playlists that I'm recommending on this video. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.